One of the things we don't speak enough about ebungomeni is the Gobela wound. I think it's easy for Amatwasa when they come out to speak about the treatments that they've encountered ePhehlweni, and yes, some of the stories are quite tragic and they're horrible, and we can never imagine another human being treating another human being in such an inhumane way. But we don't speak enough about our own experiences as Abokobela. 11 years as an initiator. It's still challenging for me to come out and be vulnerable about the encounters and the traumas I've experienced, having to take people who are complete strangers, and you just trust in the gifts, and you trust that the integrity of the gifts equates the integrity of their character, and that's not necessarily true. Most cases is actually quite the opposite. We don't speak about our Gobela wound of how we get betrayed, backstabbed, how we get lied upon, how we get manipulated, and things get deflected because as a figure of authority somewhat you tend to play the parent role, and how people project their inner child traumas onto you as a spiritual parent, because somewhat the role that you play mimics what they've experienced as children, and then their inner child comes into play. I just kind of realized today, and I got quite emotional and teary when I realized what a good person I am. And how do I know that? Is that with my son moving 1,000 kilometers away from home, I needed to go to relationships, acquaintanceships that I've built over the past few years, dating as back as your 15 years. Some that I've remained in relationship with, and some not, but that I can still contact and say, hey, I need help. My son is coming down there. Can you please connect me with this? Can you help me find this? Can you know what I mean? So for me is it's been that, and that everybody who I have reached out to has really been very keen to help and support me, and they've moved mountains and done things to really connect me to the systems that I have no access to. So I just want to say to Abokobela out there that I see you, I feel you, and I understand. And vulnerability is not weakness, it's courage and it's strength. And I think it's very important for us to speak up so we can heal. And speaking up doesn't look like naming and shaming, but speaking up is being able to be truthful and say, this is what I've been through too, because I think we need to start to create a community for initiators where we can heal together, so that we don't then take what has happened to us and then go and bleed on those who are truly coming into our spaces as Amatwasa, to really harness and hone in into their gifts, and they want to give back in a meaningful, beautiful way, empandeni yako. But because you've been betrayed once, and then you don't trust easily anymore, you've been backstabbed once, you're always watching your back, and you can't really progress, and you can't even walk with those who are trying to help, because you see everybody within the same lens, because that's what trauma and hate does. If we don't heal it, we get triggered by everything that feels like it, and then we can grow and we can move forward. Because you see, the thing is that the initiates that come into our space, we play the parent role, and even though we know very well that I can't parent an adult, but I can parent the gift, because it's the gift that is the child. And I think languaging is quite interesting, because the dynamics is that the Gobela is the parent and the initiate is the child. Therefore, the initiates also have certain expectations beyond the capacity of a Gobela, is for them to be parented, and for their little children to be parented, because some of them do come with, parent wounds, and that parent wound, you would trigger it as you try to reinforce boundaries and disciplines in place, and you'll be seen as the sinister evil one, and not as a victim, because we do get victimized by amateurs ourselves, and we take it and we don't speak about it, because we fear also being shamed by the public, because we'd be seen as not strong sangomas or strong gobelas. Why can't you deal with this, if you have all these powers? And one thing that I know for sure as a gobela, and that I hold myself up to, is being accountable to walk in truth. and being accountable to walk in the light. It's not always been easy, because when you get through the most difficult, the most challenges, your emotions come up and you might want to act on those, and acting out of emotion is detrimental, because those emotions don't stay with you forever. That's why it's emotion, energy, and motion. But I just wanted to say that, and I'm asking to my Gobela colleagues out there who follow my work, is that what has been your Gobela wound? We don't speak enough about it. The things we tolerate, the things we accept, the things we keep quiet about. Amanyala mathwasa wenzayo, imfihlo zabo zisifihlayo, the most horrid things, and we still feel obligated to authenticate them. And I think for me, this is one of the things that I ask myself, like, do I really want to authenticate abantu abanganasimilo, people who don't have good character, even though when their gift is good? Should we do that? Because we're really sending out predators into the world, must as healers. The gift is brilliant, but their non-brilliance and their crude character will temper with people's lives once they find themselves in positions of power. I'm just asking.